get killed before going on stage here, since he gave you pretty much permission to heckle me. Nick has been told off. Anyway, my name's Alan and I'm doing a PhD in civil engineering. Now, I know all the typical engineering stereotypes have just popped into your head, and I promise you I'm not going to disappoint, they're all true. I'm charming, charismatic, great with women, articulate and athletically gifted. Funny. Excuse me. Think of it like buffering. As you can tell by my accent, I come from Ireland. A lot of great people come from Ireland. James Joyce, Jonathan Swift, Oscar Wilde, Jedward. When I moved over here first about 3 years ago, I started reading Irish newspapers a lot, maybe 2 or 3 a week, just to keep up with the news at home, but I stopped. It was all dull and boring, just all talk of recession, no jobs, no one has any money, all this boring crap that I don't care about. But before I did, there was one article that kept on cropping up again and again, how the best and brightest of Ireland's young have left because there's no jobs. I like to think of myself as part of this best and brightest. Then I realised Jedward left. Seems the whole Irish recession was just an elaborate plan to get Jedward out of the picture. I'm just collateral damage. So I'm in the second year of my PhD now. First year I spent just doing a lot of reading, just getting a good general background of what I'm going to be doing in later years. Reading a lot of textbooks, journal articles. Spent a fair bit of my day on Wikipedia. I remember the Wikipedia strike a couple of months ago in protest against SOPA. None of my department went in. that wasn't a joke. So I spent a lot of time reading journal articles. If you ever read one, like, the people who write these are generally very smart and they got really good ideas in them, but they're not really good at communicating their ideas, getting their ideas across. So for me, reading a journal article is kind of like watching an episode of Lost. Despite multiple viewings, I still haven't a clue what's going on. I even found myself in times of desperation trying Google Translate. There's no option for complete bollocks though. The auto-detect came up with French. And in my first year, my supervisor, he took a lot of time out to help me, just to talk me through a lot of the different concepts I was having trouble with. It was great, but sometimes I kind of got the impression from him that he was thinking, just kind of like teaching nuclear physics to a Teletubby. Now I'm in second year, and it's a lot more practical what I'm doing. I'm doing a lot of computer programming, which is great. I really enjoy doing this. But, well, apart from banging my head off the desk the whole time, ripping my hair out. I used to be good looking. But on the upside now, I can do stand-up comedy because there's no such thing as a good looking comic. Incidentally, none of the other acts have spoken to me since I did that joke earlier on. So anyway, I do a lot of programming which I enjoy, but see, when you're reading a programming book, they don't have the little warning on it like they do in the cigarette packet, which I really think they should be forced to do. So I've only found this out. And see, programming computers and talking to girls are two mutually exclusive skills. The better I get at one, the worse I get at the other. I'm getting pretty good at programming computers. If things continue like this, I'm going to be like Raj out of Big Bang soon. So, along with programming computers, I use a lot of different academic research packages as part of my work. And these are really powerful, really useful packages, but same with the journal articles. People who write these packages, they're not the most creative, and they spend hundreds or thousands of their hours writing these packages. When it comes to naming it, like the one thing that people see, they always pick the same crappy acronym. One package I work with is called MOAB, or Mesh Orientated Database. I don't want thousands of hours of my life to be like that. It's like broccoli. A slightly better one, still terrible, is the Mesh Quality Improvement Toolkit, or MESQUIT. They popped an E on the end of that because it's exotic. My personal favourite is, it kind of reminds me of my supervisor after our weekly progress meetings. It's Generation and Refinement of Unstructured Mixed Element Mesh in Parallel, or GRUMP. I'm writing a package, and when I'm done after spending 3 years of my life writing this, I'm going to give it a name you're going to remember. First candidate is Pugsley. Perfect use of great software lets engineers yodel. I've got a year and a half to go. I can do better than that. I can find a better one for the Y. My second candidate is vomit sauce. Volume optimization of mesh interiors so analysts use computers efficiently. Or after spending 3 years of my life doing this, if I'm feeling particularly sick and depraved, Gillian McKeith. Ghastly, ignorant, loathsome litigant is absolutely nauseating. So when I use these packages to study the optimization of finite element mesh. And let's say I'm doing, as an engineer, if I'm doing analysis of something, a building, a bridge, could be a breaking wave, I can't analyse a thing as it is because the system of equations is unsolvable. So I have to break it down into smaller, simpler shapes which I can work with. So one possible shape is a triangle. And in order to get an accurate result, these triangles need to be well shaped. That's my job. I'm a rock star. So, when I think back over my life, I think I was always kind of destined to work with triangles. Back in primary school, my music teacher didn't take her long to cop on that I wasn't very talented, so she put me playing the triangle. I wondered did my supervisor do the same thing when I started. My teenage years, kind of wandered down playing asteroids. More recently, I encountered the fire triangle with the destruction of my flat. That's not meant to be funny, I lost everything. You're lovely people. So anyway, as an engineering PhD graduate, I've long ago accepted I'm not going to make a lot of money, so I've got a plan B. It's an idea for a computer game which would have made my childhood a lot less humiliating. Forget Guitar Hero, think Triangle Hero. Anyways, before I go backstage to the jacuzzi with the hookers and coke which the stand management have so kindly put on for all of us performers, I'm going to leave you with a quick joke. One triangle says to another, I was talking to a cute girl the other day, but it didn't go so well. Other triangle says back, maybe you should try a different angle. First triangle says, that's an interesting hypotenuse. Thank you.